Definitely the medieval times was a very jackass style.
Dude, it was goofs.
Yeah,
it was just goofs.
It was goofs. They would do really mean and then make it fun.
So now I have a question about people saying YNs because
No, that's kosher, bro. You know that's
What
clean.
is YN?
no, it's the same thing as like you're not allowed to say you can start off King Kunta by saying you monkey mouth motherfucker. Oh, that. All right, cool. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Modern Apes podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Bridge-Gadd, live from the ever-glorious Stan studio. We got a table, baby. You can see the laptop and the old logo. Sitting to my right, as always, my comedy wife, podcast partner. It's the Vampire King, King Possum, Lord Meerkat, Tristan Bowling. Monkey. That's making a change. And over here, our first guest that we've had, it's the one and only, it's the big man himself, the anti-Riz, Patrick Orellana. It's Andrew Orellana.
What's up, babe? How you doing? I like the new studio. This is a good time.
This has a nostalgia feel to it.
I know.
I like it. And this week we're talking medieval times, ways to die, armies, individual people, and all the above. Which, have you ever been to actual medieval times?
Oh, I used to go all the time as a kid. I got way too much stories about medieval. I have swords and shields. It's fucking sick.
Not a Renaissance fair, a medieval time?
No, yeah, like a legit medieval times where like it's WWE with mead and fucking turkey legs, dog. It's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, I've been thinking Renaissance fair every time you said medieval times. I've never been to one of those, but I've been to like a what's it called? Renaissance festival. I worked at one.
That's more of like, I don't know which one's worse, because one is basically, you know, that the Ren Fair, like the end, they do the joust and there's the whole everyone's watching. That's medieval times. That's all it is.
That's all it is. You just go in there. It's like you know, like you ever like you go to the Met and you see like the medieval times like museum part of it where they have all the knights armors and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you walk through that and there's just dudes in knights armors getting after it.
Okay.
It's
Preset menu. You're paying $37 for boiled chicken.
Fuck off.
a boiled chicken leg.
Oh, do you mean the stuff you feed dogs?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
sick dogs?
Yes.
Turns out that was what they ate in medieval food. So I went with my Uncle Anthony once, and my gaggle of uncles basically got drunk.
If they're going to make me eat boiled chicken because that's what they served in medieval times, I expect to shit in a bucket out back.
Bro, I can't wait for like YNs to figure out about medieval times.
So now I have a question about people saying YNs because
no, that's kosher, bro. You know that's
What
clean.
is YN?
no, it's the same thing as like you're not allowed to say nigga, but you can start off King Kunta by saying you monkey mouth motherfuckers. Like that's what are we talking about?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I understand YN.
I see that all the time. Like people be like, oh man, all these YNs. I was like, you're just saying young niggas.
I thought that was yes or no. And
know
for
what?
YNs, I put N.
Why all these Y/Ns out here? I don't
Yeah.
understand. No, but medieval times, the actual establishment is just a grip to get fucking kids in there and eat boiled chicken.
Yeah.
And you get to watch these actors. That being said, more respectable acting in that than acting in a Renaissance fair.
I disagree.
Because those are carnies. Those are carnies.
Those are people that are going up for sure hammered.
yeah,
That's a dude that doesn't even know what
I
horse he's on.
respected my post.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I was a betting man, I'd say 50% of everyone on staff at a actual Renaissance fair has an empty bottle or half empty of Rumpelmans somewhere on their person.
Oh, yeah, and they get pissed when you use their outhouse. Their porta potty, they're like, this is only mine. This is where my poops live.
This is the nobleman's fucking outhouse over
Yeah.
here, dude. Now.
Well, weirdly enough, why is it when you're into Ren Fair or like medieval shit, you can picture that person in your head. If you own elf ears, you know what I'm talking about, like the pixie ears that go on top.
Yeah.
That's you can picture that lady in your head.
Yeah.
There's like
And-
there's 35 of this specific type of lady who you see on Instagram, and then there's about 400,000 of the other one. You think?
Well, I was in Bushwick and I was telling you about it, bro.
It's medieval times around there.
Bro, yeah, exactly,
Bunch
bro.
of
I was like,
pixies.
It's a guy on a horse.
yeah, Bushwick's just the Ren Fair without mead.
Yeah.
Like it's just a bunch of weird motherfuckers walking around in like trying to be medieval garb.
Weirdly enough, I
Wow.
would imagine there's a bar down there where you can order mead. It's like they don't have Bud Light or anything domestic. But like 4 flavors of mead right there.
Yeah, it's like, can we at least run this through a cheesecloth or something? I got half of a mouthful of mold.
Nigga, it's mostly floaters in here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But we wanted to get into like medieval times. That was Andrew's topic. We like to ask the guests whenever they come on what they want to talk about, so they don't got to do a whole lot of research. And we understand that Andrew likes
Yeah, dude, I've been getting into it. People will get into World War II. No, I go further than that. I go medieval times, bro.
Well, because they would die by not just war shit either. Like you get a cut and you die by fucking
like
mud.
Dysentery. Yeah, you get mud, dude. Like you eat too much dirt, bro, by accident, you're dead, bro. Like,
yeah. Also, I feel like don't eat dirt.
No.
Is it pretty good? You can take that lesson away. I don't imagine watching someone eat dirt and then killing over it and dying and being like, "Wow, that guy ate the bad dirt." Like,
yeah, they gotta teach you like a dirt Home Depot paint palette. You're like, if it's darker than this, it's not good dirt.
Not
good.
fertilized, bro. It's not
good.
fertilized.
I mean, at some point, someone probably had to do that. How did niggas find out this salt preserved food? Someone had to, and salt's just on a rock half the time. So someone had to fucking chip something off a rock, throw it on a dead deer, and be like, "Science, nigga, what's up?"
Yeah.
This shit'll last forever, son. What?
Yeah, there is just from doing my research, there is a lot of, just because we've broken down in our previous podcasting escapades, we've broken down wars, and definitely the medieval times was a very jackass style.
Dude, it was goofs. It was just goofs.
It was goofs. They would do really mean shit and then make it fun for like the guys around it, just being like, it's not bad morale. Meanwhile, they're like sawing a guy in half.
Well, because they didn't have, so that kind of ties into my thing. They didn't have standardized law. Like, you know how we have like law of the land now? That phrase comes from medieval time because the law of the land changed depending on who the fuck's land you were standing on.
Oh, yeah.
Kings had, carte blanche. They could do whatever they wanted.
See that castle over there? That's Kenny's law.
That's Kenny's law over there. There shall be no light-skinned Canadians in Kenny's kingdom. I swear to God.
You look at that castle over there, Margaritaville.
Yeah,
it's Jimmy Buffett's land, dude.
I can tell. Why? Their trebuchet is shaped like a giant margarita.
I do like that mindset that no matter what time period it was, Jimmy Buffett had a Margaritaville.
Yeah, ye old Margaritaville.
Pictures of Selma, like Martin Luther King's walking, and just in the back you see like a parrot head neon sign.
Yeah.
Like, what?
What the fuck?
First one was in Selma, Alabama, 1901.
Yeah.
It's all right. Here, let's get into it. So medieval times, I did laws, right? I have seven fun medieval laws from back then. So from the mid-12th century, the crown began to play a larger role in administration of justice in England. And I'm only doing specifically England because medieval, technically, I guess, encompasses like a time period. But
yeah.
Niggas didn't know what was going on over here.
It's like the 800s to about like the.
Do you know this, Patty? Can you look up and see when exactly the medieval period was? Because it ends at a certain period of time. And I have written down right here. It says in the earlier years, the maintenance of law and order was largely the responsibility of local lords and local communities. However, okay, here we go. Yeah, medieval.
Oh,
period.
I was close. I got the ending. I was pretty far off the beginning, but I got the ending.
The degree of difficulty that having this knowledge could be used to get you laid is so high.
Oh yeah.
There's no woman out there be like, ooh, he was only 400 years off.
This guy knows 3 different types of alkaloid metal.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This guy figured out how to work salt, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean up pussy at the medieval trivia night every quarter.
Dude, I made my own trebuchet out of Legos. Fuck me, please. I'm begging you in it.
The trebuchet.
Bro, you studied medieval times for this podcast and you don't even know what a fucking trebuchet is, dude?
Don't trebuchet shame me.
I would trebuchet you all day.
I'll trebuchet him, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking launch it.
Using centrifugal force, I would trebuchet you.
I don't like that. This nigga centrifugal, he's fucking me up right now. Okay, so in the earlier years, the maintenance of law and order was responsibility of the local communities, right? However, in 1176, all right, onwards, royal judges began to make regional visits known as Iries.
What's Irie?
What Irie, man?
Yeah.
Jamaican nights, dude.
By decree of the crown.
I am the prince here at Margaritaville. Ye old Margaritaville.
You about to fall by my sword.
Yeah.
That is kind of nice. I mean,
you will find not everything Irie around here, man.
We got real good boiled jerk chicken, my boy. Stupid. So it says from 1176 onwards, royal judges began to make visits known as Iries. These visits were so terrifying that in 1233, the arrival of the justices supposedly caused an entire Cornish village to flee into the woods. So these niggas basically got carte blanche to come down and say whatever they wanted. And it's like,
it's a real, like, you hear your dad pulling into the driveway type energy.
Dude, people scatter. You
The chicken still in the freezer.
You forgot to take out ye old chicken.
Yeah.
Ye old chicken.
Ye old chicken. I got to turn off ye old Xbox because I'm not supposed to be playing his.
I'm supposed to be grounded right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so these dudes would come in.
Wait, you're playing Halo I.
That's not bad. I mean, these dudes had the level of power that I would love to attain. Where you just come in, some dude blows a trumpet, you know, the brr, 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 and this guy comes in and goes, on behalf of the king, I get all of the whores in town, and basically, if you oppose, you die.
Bro, the Irish just walking in with JBL speakers listening to Fetty Wap on them, dude.
Busted, though. Busted Fetty Wap speakers.
I'm going out saying this.
And then, okay, so they realized once that was like a problem. Those were originally replaced later in the 13th century by a system of local courts known as the sizes, from the old French word meaning sitting or session. Which I don't understand how sitting and session mean the two same things, but whatever that
means like a current sitting member of the council.
I had to expand my knowledge passports. Once you start getting into big words, I'm like, that was never a play call that I had to remember.
Yeah, man. Also, let's keep a note. We're never doing this angle again. Every time I look at myself in the reflection, I look like a vulture. I need we can do this angle, or I need a posture protector.
Yeah, you look like you're about to squat.
Get Tristan the backstrap.
Dude, talk about, like, speaking of medieval torture devices, I need a rack, bro.
You need an Iron Maiden on you, dude.
Dude, it's fine. You got something for me? Don't say it's a booster seat.
He goes, you're not the first comedian with horrible posture. Actually, you're the 99%.
I know.
Here, but then let's
just randomly walks in with a seatbelt extender for me. He's like, we had this on file too, bro. We heard you were coming.
Well, I want to get into fat guy activities in the medieval times, because what I brought is 7 medieval laws. And I'll read this last little part and then we'll get into them, because basically it's the anti-Andrew clause.
First off, great catch. Good hands on Tristan.
All right, here we go.
Not great posture, but these hands are minted.
So in the 13th century, the crown realized that the Iries, however you pronounce that, was a bad idea, because it gave local idiots basically too much carte blanche.
Sorry. I
know, I got to watch you try and be
yeah, I can breathe for the first time without my ribs in my lungs.
Here we go. Okay, so they used to have trials, like, you know how like they would do former witch trials, where basically like they would do all this horrible shit to women, and they couldn't like say no, basically.
Yeah,
they had the same sort of laws for bros back in the day. The very first time that they introduced a trial or like trial by jury, they had these things that were called trial by ordeals. Which is basically...
Oh, you just like... I think you walk on like...
You have to pick someone up from the airport.
You got to help your buddy move into his Astoria apartment.
And then help him move again back into the same neighborhood. Which nobody did.
No, we... Whoa, don't put that smut on us.
I was ready to throw on an N95 mask and come over there and see Fallujah for you retarded ass. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but my mom said, no dice, I got this. She had it. Shannon's a motherfucker.
Oh, your mom came down?
Yeah, dude.
Weirdly enough, when you said your mom, who were you thinking?
Haley.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking...
I didn't think your actual mother. I thought
both mothers were there.
I thought it just...
Mothers were mothering in that moment. They were watching Wicked.
Actually, I call my wife mamas, like with an S on the end. But if you put an S, I think it's makes it not incestual.
Yeah.
I call my mom moms. Most moms.
I call my mom lady, just so...
Hey, lady.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what's up, lady?
What the fuck? I guess I call my mom Elin. Maybe that's
you call your mom.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I used to, whenever I was, talking. But anyway, so the trial by ordeal was banned in...
Your mom put you through a trial by ordeal?
You're telling me, son. Join the Patreon.
Trial by ordeal to get your jerseys back.
www.patreon.com/Modern Apes Podcast. You want to see the
trial by
affairs.
ordeal. Don't let your siblings to your wedding.
Yeah, no, trial by a deal. Either your cunt aunt's coming or I'm not. Jesus Christ. Anyway, but they got rid of trial by ordeal because they deemed it inhumane. Basically, what the trials were, it was either a hot iron or water, usually. So they would hit you with a hot iron, and then it was up to God. Same thing as like the witch trial. Basically, if you didn't die, then that was God being like, turns out you're a good guy.
Well, yeah. I don't know if it's the same, but I love the show Vikings, and I have one of those trial by ordeals where like heat up like basically an anvil to like almost melting point. You have to carry it like, I think it's like 10 yards.
Yeah.
And like walk it all the way back, and then you're good.
Then which is basically...
Then you didn't kill somebody, yeah.
And then it says, however, trial by jury was eventually offered to suspects as a potential solution in the 1220s. This did, however, cause some headaches, some literally I wrote, as it was thought inappropriate to force someone to submit to a jury. For a long time, no one knew what to do if someone refused. You couldn't If you got hit and was like, hey, you got to go to a trial, like you couldn't say no. You can kind of say no.
Like as a jury member?
No, like as a fucking, like if someone came to you, if the crown came to you, some lord or someone was like, hey, you stole like a fucking breadcrumb, you couldn't like get some Jew and be like, actually, he says I didn't. You just had to be like,
There's no attorneys or anything like
you
that.
just had to be like, fuck, I guess so. And then they would throw you in like the brig basically if you disagreed. So they'd be like, oh, you said no? All right, that's fine. And they would
Double arrest him.
and they would just basically throw you in like this holding cell until you changed your mind. It's like you're just down in the brig and they come down every day and they're like, you want a trial by jury yet?
You do it yet?
You're like, nah. They're like, all right, well, fucking hope the rats don't kill you tonight.
Yeah.
And then in 1275, it was ordered for such people to be put in a hard and strong prison to encourage them to relent.
Just CrossFit prison.
Just go through an Iron Man run.
There's a bunch of bodied up Italian niggas down there.
Yeah, released back into the public, fully restored, and an American Ninja Warrior. In order to get out, you have to do a full American Ninja Warrior.
You gotta do the ninja wall?
Yeah.
Close. It was more like American Gladiator. They would put you down there with just a bunch of giant niggas. And
Oh,
be
you
like,
gotta fight your way out the gulag, dude.
yeah, some giant bitch named like Braun or whatever is really going to make you change your mind.
Got a Rebirth Island, man.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the 7 crazy laws. Some of these are still in effect to today, by the way, like the invention of punishments for things such as rape, murder, robbery, and killing people. All kind of stayed. They started there and they stayed till today. So the first of the 7 laws is shooting royal deer. It was enacted in 1198. It was repealed in 1217.
Dude, doing my research, people hate it when you shoot royal deer.
Get so mad.
Dude, they fucking hate it when you shoot their deer.
And it's not like they brand these motherfuckers either. They just run around and you have to kind of like, you're starving. Your stomach's like, and you just see a deer.
What are the odds that's a royal deer?
Like,
what are the odds?
Let me tell you, the odds are high. All of them are royal deer. Any deer is royal deer, as long as it's on the property of the king.
That was the problem. See, that's the problem with the whole anything the light touches theory. Really makes it hard to shoot a deer that's not touched by light.
Yeah.
you gotta go out there and I have to find a dark elk. What the fuck does that?
What the fuck's hanging out in caves these
Yeah, it's
days?
definitely a sorcerer, and the punishment for that was blinding and castration, which is so lit. It's like you shoot someone's deer. It's like, hey, come up off them nuts.
I will
nigga.
mention it later, but blinding is very popular.
I don't understand why. There was so much worse shit you could do to someone.
Do you want to know how they used to blind people?
What?
So what they used to do, I'll just take this out of my notes, is what they used to do is either they just put your thumbs in your sockets and applied pressure until those things popped out, or they got the good old eyeball scoop and spin.
Yeah.
And then they just go whomp, whomp. Either that or they just stab you in the eyes.
I assume they would have put like boiling water, so just melt those things.
Oh, what they used to do also was they would get like a hot iron and wave it in front of your eyes until your eyeballs eventually melted out of their
How
socket.
stiff were you doing this research?
Why would I be stiff?
I could totally.
Due to knowledge?
Yeah, no, because you're a little
I was
fucking.
piercing my sheath.
You're a BDSM man.
No.
Right?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
You don't like being tied up?
Fuck no.
You ever been tied up?
Tristan
No.
doesn't like when you touch his shoulders. You think he's into BDSM?
Get me out of here!
It's a sensory overload. And he's just like, shh, we just need to put the ball gag in and everything will be fine.
I would not be good at that.
All right, another one of the 7 fun medieval laws. The weight of bread and ale. Turns out IPAs were not a thing back then. So this was enacted in 1216. It ended, this got taken away in Europe in 1863, like not that long ago. Punishment was
Pretty long ago.
Yeah,
Long ago.
Pretty long ago.
Before both world wars, pretty long ago.
that's not that, that's 100 years ago.
Not 100.
150, Pat, I'm so bad at math, 150 years.
170 something. Go on.
It's long, long ago in a place far the fuck away. Shut up.
Endor.
Yeah.
Calculator.
Don't calculator.
It's a room full of dumbasses.
We don't need the calculator. 1865
They just got rid of slavery.
minus 2. 160. I was so close with 170.
They got rid of slavery and the bread and beer law.
Slavery was still hanging around in 18.
No, that's the end of the
63?
that's the end of the Civil War. 1864, 1865 is the end of the Civil War.
Do you know this for a fact?
Yes.
No, that's when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, dickhead.
1865.
Fuck. God damn it. You know more
Dude,
black
bread
people
and beer
facts than
got fucking their rights before black people in America. This
Nigga,
is crazy.
sourdough could move around. They let marble rye into and use everyone's water fountain.
Well, no, let's not get too hasty. There's pumpernickel sections.
Yeah, it says the war ended. We didn't have to treat them nice till like the 60s. Till like
Yeah.
the 60s.
After World War II, we enabled the Pretzel Act.
There's just sourdough in Alabama, but I have a yeast.
Yeah.
I have a yeast that one day
One day
marble
we
rye.
will be rising up. We've been covered for too long. They're looking for proof. We have been proofing.
That one day little sourdough girls and sourdough boys will play in harmony with marble rye.
And Wonder Bread.
Fuck Red Velvet still, dude. They're not on our team, bro.
It'll never be chocolate. It's a white pretending to be a chocolate. It's my life. I am Red Velvet. Anyway,
Stains.
the size of bread and ale was sought to reduce competition amongst bakers trying to fix the price of bread. It stipulated that oh my Jesus Christ, fluketitions is the price of wheat would determine.
I can't tell if you can't read or if that's a hard word to say.
Buddy,
I can't tell if you can't
Look
read.
at this asshole. I'm not on crack. You fucking read that.
Fluctuations, you fucking asshole. You fucking
Sorry for the spike, but that's too fucking funny.
And I'm the one in a suit.
Fluketitions.
All these goddamn flupernadians.
Fluctuations.
Yeah.
So you copy and pasted this.
Bro, you made like a Doofenshmirtz word from that, dude.
You got
This nigga's
stipulated,
dumb
but
and
not
on the radio.
Not fluctuation.
Yeah, fluctuations in the price of wheat would determine not the price of loaf, but its weight. The statute also fixed the price of. Okay, basically, they put a price on this shit because the competition, like people were making a bunch of bread and then charging less for it, and it was putting the mainstay niggas out of business. It was basically.
Oh, they're undercutting the market. Okay, yeah.
Basically, so then the crown came in and was like, "We need to now. There's a price, or there's a. You know how like in Utah, Bud Light can't exceed, or beer in general can't exceed like 3% in alcohol.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? Yeah, there's certain
Yeah.
places in Utah or like in dry counties where
They can't pour hard alcohol over the table either. They have to do it behind the counter.
yeah. So you'll get a Utah Bud Light that's 3% alcohol when it's normally 4.2. Same price. Goddamn Mormons know what the fuck they're doing.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, here, I'll hustle through it, swing it to yours. The next rule would be crime for entering the houses of parliament with a weapon or armor, which is actually still in effect today.
I mean, how
Bro,
can
if you walk into any part of Parliament in armor, you're getting tackled.
But you should be able to have armor. I understand, like, you want to take my weapons or whatnot, but, like, I got to strip.
No, I'm saying today.
Oh.
If you walk into full knight's armor into Parliament,
Ma'am,
I'm
someone,
a time traveler.
it's like, where do you even get chainmail today?
damn, y'all are still wearing the wigs? Fuck, dude.
Prove I'm not a time traveler.
Yeah, and people still kind of, like, take that into respect today. The next one would be catching a royal fish. You just weren't allowed to, like, harvest food, basically, back then.
Bro, that's how they treated you in Paradise Valley. Dude, just a white woman being like, this is royal fish.
Jesus Christ. And this is where I think is fun. So these last three are the anti-Andrew clause. So another royal rule that they had was playing soccer or football was against the law.
Hey, soccer back then?
The fucking place I'm trying to live in. Well, it was man soccer, not the gay thing we have today. But it was enacted in 1314 in London and 1388 nationally. It was repealed in 1845, if not before, and the punishment was 6 days imprisonment. Watch this. Okay, so it says, like, you know how, like, the football hooligans today are regarded as, like, the craziest people ever?
Yeah.
Medieval football was quite literally a whole different football game. It was like different, right? So people dying was super common. You could like bang heads. The rules were different. You could pick up the ball and shit like that. However, the bans on the sport were more concerned with like national security and health. But basically, in 1388, they put in this law that was like, I don't know, it brought you the modern soccer that you have today, because either the options were we're going to eradicate this sport entirely and it's dirty dancing. The dirty dancing soccer back in fucking.
They put baby in a corner.
They put fucking yeah.
They put baby in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner kick.
Well, they put baby in a corner, and then in 1410, punishment for breaking this law was confirmed as 6 days imprisonment. Enforcement was, God, I got to read better, sporadic, especially by the end of the Middle Ages when Henry VIII himself owned a pair of football boots, so we know it was still popular at the time. There were kings playing soccer back in the day, and that's where the term boots comes from, because they weren't wearing cleats.
Dogs.
They were soccer boots.
Yeah, they're boots. Yeah.
They'll disagree with everything
Boots.
culturally.
There's a pitch, bro. Clubs, bro.
And this is another thing that I kind of like. So
Wait, two of those are football, baseball words. pitch, club.
No, they have a bunch
The
of
field is called a pitch.
Pat, are you a soccer fan before I start talking big shit? All right, cool. They have a bunch of these weird fucking nanner words that make no fucking sense at all. It's a pitch. It's a boot. It's a throop. They call it marking instead of defending. The whole thing should be thrown in jail. Honestly, if you're an American soccer fan today, medieval rules should apply. It should be a 6-day prison stay where they just play Dan Marino highlights and tape your eyes open, and you're like, this
Like
is
Clockwork
the way.
Orange?
Just Clockwork Orange, Tavon Austin highlights.
Yes. By the end of the day, you will know every stat Tavon Austin had and all the words to Kid Ink's Hell and Back.
Okay. This is completely off topic, but I feel who has a better highlight tape? Tavon Austin Genty, dude. Who has a better highlight tape?
Tavon Austin by far.
No, dude.
What?
Have you seen Ashton Genty's fucking highlights?
Oh
They're
my-
insane.
Do you know who either of these people are?
I know.
Have you ever seen Tavon Austin? Patty, can we get Tavon Austin?
Yeah, we don't need to get Tavon Austin.
Hey, new topic. Tavon Austin.
yeah, cut this one, Tavon Austin.
Guys.
No, I'm just kidding. But
Tavon.
yeah, that's Tavon Austin. Here, then I'll get through my last two. So you weren't allowed, basically, wackadooness was outlawed. After this cast was watching Tavon Austin. It's so good, dude. Tavon Austin's
Guys,
so
we
good.
don't got 8 minutes.
He's the best college
We
football
don't got
player.
8
of all
minutes dedicated for West Virginia highlights.
All right, I'll take off Tavon Austin highlights.
Oh, dude, that's probably where all the fans were for the fucking West Virginia show. They were watching Tavon
Tavon
Austin.
Austin highlights. I mean, why would you come to my headlining show when you could watch a 7-year-old Tavon Austin highlights? Anyway,
That's pretty tight. He's good on his feet. I see the appeal.
I mean, I understand the people of West Virginia because I'm supposed to be doing a podcast right now, and I'm actively watching Tavon Austin highlights.
Damn. 37-17 with another touchdown. West Virginia's whipping it, dude.
And here's my last two. So you weren't allowed to be a wackadoo, basically. Wearing indecent tunics or long pointy footwear was a no.
So being a jester outside of the occupation is pretty frowned upon.
Pretty much. And I
Yeah.
Actually, I was learning about that too. Like, you had to wear in your class. Like poor people, like peasants, couldn't wear shit that wasn't peasant shit.
This goes right along with my theory. Call it dated if you want, but fat guys shouldn't dress cool. And they believed it.
I'm in a long sleeve Columbia shirt that I'm actively sweating.
Yeah, you're.
This is not cool, guys.
You're matching your yerba mate right now.
I
to
wasn't
a T.
talking about you weirdo.
No, but you tell me this all the time, bro.
You do. Anytime you get a new piece of clothing, you're like, how is it? I
Yeah,
go,
you're also the person that got me the clothing.
That is true. God, I put a fat guy in a little coat, and now I got to deal with it. I got to live
You
with
got to
it.
reboot your show, pal.
And the very last one would be, you would be put to sleep immediately. Eating more than 2 courses was enacted in 1336, and it was repealed in 1856. And
Is this in a day or at a sitting?
law,
What's the time stipulation on
Already
the second?
dead. They already.
if you have to ask that question, that means you already gripped up a second fucking turkey leg, you fat
Already in
ass.
jail.
Yeah.
Already in jail.
Laws to restrict what people could eat and drink were intended to curb excess and prevent people from emulating the lifestyle of their superiors. So yeah, just don't act like you're the king, and we'll be all right.
No, dude, I
Go back for a
was
second
telling you,
course.
I was telling you this on the train, bro. I was learning about knights and how knights lived, bro. Knights weren't allowed to drink water or eat salad
Why?
What could-
because the water might have been like full of bacteria. So they're like, beer and wine only for you guys.
That kinda
And
makes
then salad was like, yeah, this might be rotten, so just meat for you, dog. Like, you couldn't eat salad if you were a knight.
I mean,
Dude, imagine the troughs.
Dude,
oh my god, these guys just dropping salted red meat shits.
dude, are we
Oh.
sure dude wipes weren't invented in 1865?
No, but how are you?
Do you know that like infamous photo of like it's from Game of Thrones, but he just has his head down on the Iron Throne with the sword down. Just take his pants off, and that's every night taking a shit. just like gripping his sword, just like putting it into the stone like Excalibur.
Well, how would you wipe back then? What are you wiping with? You think?
I don't think.
Yeah, you're not wiping, dog.
Yeah, when do you think the invention
It's
of
either-
wiping?
It's either
came
that
about?
or like a wet washcloth that you like got it, wet it, wiped, rinsed it, wiped again.
But they still had to be grossed out by shit though, because it smells bad.
No,
You
the
don't
amount
think?
of time.
No, well, the way medieval plumbing would work is that you had a dish, that you had like a pot underneath, and after every time you went to the bathroom, you'd have like your chambermaid come get the pot and then dump it into a pipe that led outside to the outside of the house.
So you just had your shit outside your house?
Yeah,
And sometimes
it's like
it would
outside
just
the
be,
outside
like,
the castle walls. Yeah,
in like in the streets and stuff like that. They
well,
would
that's
have,
like if you're poor. Yeah, you just shat on the street.
yeah, you just pulled down, kind of poopied.
Fucking no chance, dude.
That's another thing too, is that like kings had multiple castles purely because they would throw parties and shit too much to where they would have to move to a new castle to clean the previous castle.
I pooped up this whole castle.
Yeah, I pooped up the castle. I need a new Airbnb castle.
So those are like the Elons of the time. If you're a king and you got a castle.
Yeah, you don't have rockets, you have castles.
Do you think that's where the phrase "there's shit everywhere" came from?
I think that's just a sight.
Just being like, dude, there's shit everywhere in here, and just being like, you should see our parties.
No, but that is where shit comes from. You hear that all the time. You're like, do you know where that phrase came from? A medieval king who partied too hard in his time had a whole second castle. Shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are the fun 7 laws that would get you real fucked up back in the day in medieval times.
And it's fun that you chose laws, because the way that I did it was I chose punishment.
Oh, okay. Law and punishment?
Yeah.
You want to go last then? We'll do
I'll
yours
go
last.
last,
If he's punishment?
Yeah. So basically, ancient Greeks and Romans they only tortured non-citizens and slaves for info and confessions.
Oh, we're going Romans. Okay.
Yeah, what
No.
counts as medieval? Is that the time
You just
period, or-
I mean, like Romans were around during 400. I'm pretty sure. I think that might have been Eastern Roman Empire.
Yeah,
though.
let me finish. So ancient Greeks and Romans usually only tortured those. So in medieval Europe, it was used in a trial format. So your reaction to how bad it hurt means how innocent you were.
So you're guilty if you don't say anything?
Oh, if you just thug it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just thug it out, it's like, this man has no contempt for the law. Take him away and execute him. But if you're sitting there and you're just like on a thing, be like, they'll be like, oh, this guy so did it.
Well, imagine how many people was like just the dudes walking up. He's like, just
Yeah.
fucking-
Okay.
So the monarchy and church wanted the average citizen to fear them and used corporal punishment basically as a means to make sure that happens.
Corporal punishment? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Corporal
Ew,
punishment.
dude.
Yeah.
Ew.
That's how they felt. That was the point of the episode.
It's funny if you have a partner to do it, not if you're just doing it by yourself. That's also the point of the episode.
My work wife just did it right back at me. Shut up. I'll fight you here. I'll fight you where you I'll put you through medieval punishment right now, you second course eating
Fucking
bitch.
hit me with a dude. We're jousting.
You pointy toed
How
fuck.
many courses today? How many courses
You long
today?
tunic bitch, bro. Fuck you. We're jousting.
Every trip to Bodega counts as a course. How many courses today?
This nigga had a 3-course meal. Arrested.
I did get a Jamaican flavors beef patty on the way here, though.
Oh, you met the knights.
The night.
Oh, the knights of the round beef patty?
Yeah. Well, it's round for the most part. It's flat on one side. And it tastes like a soggy cheese. I don't know why anyone eats them.
They're not good.
They're not
Great,
good.
dude.
So basically, get caught doing something bad, they'll treat you bad.
Yeah.
Even worse if you happen to be poor. We do not like it if you're both poor, ew, and gross, doing something bad.
It seems to be a running through line in human existence. As long as you just can like afford something, you can get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're caught doing something poor, they would often brand you on the forehead.
Okay.
It's basically a walking dunce cap, being like, I got caught, I'm dumb. Or they can cut off your feet, hands, or tongue.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one of those, what are you doing?
Are you
right?
wait? Is it both hands and feet, or is it like both hands and then both feet, or is
Probably
it
like a
one
foot,
hand?
a hand, or tongue.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going hand.
Yeah.
Ain't no way I'm slogging through that mud street with 1 foot, bro.
Tongue, niggas. Tongue.
How you gonna deal, bro?
How am I
You're
gonna
get
eat out my
poor.
lady?
It's the only thing you're not going to die from. Everything
You
else
think they're
is...
eating out in the medieval times, bro?
I am, bro.
Oh my God. We just talked about a communal shit rag. And you're like, yeah, but I still got to get in there and get my comeuppance.
I still gotta make my girl gunk,
And
dude.
bro, I'm all lover, baby. I'm all lover. Look at my camera. Yeah.
Actually,
baby.
female gunking didn't get invented until after the medieval period.
So,
After the bread and beer law, dude.
yeah, yeast. So basically, they did this to be a walking warning sign for other people around them, just being like, "Hey, don't." Another thing that they used to be a walking warning sign was mutilation, which was used all over the world.
Yeah, turns out you don't need 3 fingers, dumbass.
Yeah,
Just 2.
Yeah.
they would do it. They would do it often to reprimand, and that would be the punishment.
Okay.
But if you're getting the death penalty, sometimes they'll just do a little before for fun.
It's for shits and gigs. Like, you're going to die anyway, and they still cut knuckles off.
Yeah,
Fuckheads.
yeah,
Yeah, that's like they bring in The Apprentice, dude.
yeah.
Did people not have... Was it just easier to, like, harm people back then? Like, because I feel like now it's a very specific group of people that kill people nowadays. It's either you're a criminal or you're a warrior.
Race.
Inner city Chicago. No, but I'm saying like I feel like everyone was just more chill putting people down back then. Like if someone just came on your land and you're just like a normal peasant.
Dude, life was so expendable.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't like look at it like, oh, if I kill this guy, I'm taking away his 80-year life. It's like, no, this fucker is on my land. He was gonna die next winter anyway.
No, you
might as well put him down.
You get like a 20-year-old wife, pump out a litter, and then 3 kids live.
Yeah,
there's
and you're
like
good
9
numbers.
kids, and you're just like, fucking, okay, carry on my name.
Yeah, and you immediately put those kids into slave labor the second they can talk.
Yeah, you make workers. You're just like, we need more hands around here, and it's kind of like a 4-year trial process before they can really hold a plow.
Ooh, that's not good. All right.
Yeah, so what was a popular crime back then was theft, because people were poor, and also it was very hard to catch thieves because not everyone had ring doorbell cameras. Those are only the elite that had ring doorbell cameras. Yeah, that was only in the higher neighborhoods.
Right under the knockers, just a big metal like.
I'll show you some knockers. It's so if they basically, it was hard to get caught if you're a thief, but if you got caught, oh boy, it was not good. So they would basically start. They would usually mutilate you by like cutting off a hand, or sometimes a favored thing among the Catholic Church, cutting off ears.
Why is dong never the answer? It's like they're doing everything else besides chopping dong. That's the worst thing you could lose as a bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you bleed out way quicker.
Yeah, it's just all blood vessels.
Yeah, it's all blood
That's
vessels.
an artery.
No, it's like maiming. It's not for you to bleed out. You won't
That's what I'm
bleed out
saying.
from
That's why they don't do dong.
So you can't chop dong.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a harder thing to fix. Plus infections, there's like a lot that
That's why I took the tongue. If you get your foot or arm cut off, you fucking has to face the world.
Nah,
You're dead.
take my ear, dude.
But I can't eat pussy. In fact, yeah. In fact, the Catholic Church liked cutting off ears so much that it was a punishment for blasphemy, and also if you just didn't come to church.
Yeah, they didn't play around. You could be a Wednesday mass there on Sunday, helping out on a Friday, and if not,
just pop in.
Yeah, elf ears for you.
Yeah, pop in. You want to keep them ears, right?
That's not.
You want to keep not looking silly in hats?
Yeah, well, the fucking Pope was judge, jury, and executioner at the time.
I see you got glasses on, pal. You want them to keep those things on your face? You come to church, bro.
I'll knock your fucking. Swear to God, you know.
They would also cut off your nose.
That doesn't bleed out to death? They turn you to the Red Skull in fucking medieval times?
Yeah, real Mr. Potato Head type thing. When the Danish king Canute became the ruler of England in 1016, he knew he had to suppress his rivals to keep the kingdom. He set up the Law Code of King Canute, which which was quoted by him, "Justice be promoted and every injustice suppressed. Every illegality be eradicated from this land." And so basically the punishable crimes, like with the lighter sentences, would be perjury, adultery, fun one, sorcery. Don't be caught doing little magic spells.
Can't do a little light alchemy? Fuck, nigga, goddamn.
Yeah, with the worst sentences being for murder and treason. People hate treason.
But treason
back then is anything, dude.
I was gonna say,
treason back then
talking
is anything.
mild shit.
Yeah. It's being like, that guy kind of stinks, bro, right?
You couldn't even joke. I couldn't even call the king a fucking pointy shoe wearing whatever without the door getting kicked in. Guys can't have fun anymore.
Yeah, boys can't be boys back then, dude.
What, a lord can't be a lord? Fuck.
A guy, sorry, it's guy time. Mom, don't come in, we're flaying.
Is that the...
Yeah, it's slicing the skin off the
flaying
muscle.
is like you get like skinned alive.
What
and then,
am
like,
I
executed and, like,
thinking of the BDSM pom-pom? What is that?
Oh, I know, I know exactly.
That's called the flay also, right?
Yeah,
The flay
it's like leather strings with beads at the end, and you like whip yourself or you get whipped with it. Yeah.
Patty, can I get a BDSM
flog.
pom-pom?
It's called a flog.
Is it a flog? I think it might be a flog.
Yeah, it's a flog.
That's already good. All the flog.
We don't need... I mean, can we at least research coupon codes for Adam and Eve?
I like BDSM pom-pom. That's great. No, you're good.
We're good. We don't need flogs. We're good. Patty's on it, though.
I know. He was there.
So, for any crime worse than
Super
theft...
pom-pom.
On Etsy.
Oh, that is... Do you know this isn't what we were looking for?
That's what I'm talking about. It's a BDSM pom-pom. I'm so correct.
Bro, dude. Oh, yeah.
Dude, imagine the BDSM
Dude, just imagine a
cheerleaders.
fluffy butt plug, dude. That must be a nightmare.
Will not stay fluffy for long.
My favorite part about this is I can track what Pat's looking at through the mouse with his eyes, but he's circling butt plugs.
BDSM leather whip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a flail.
flogger. It's a flogger.
Whoa.
That's what I said.
They're floggers, Tom. Floggers.
Yeah.
That's what you call Dylan Mulvaney.
Jesus Christ. Okay,
right.
so anyway, you're flogging bros and $66. Just your pat in the back.
Bro, I like how it goes 1471.
Is that a lightsaber hilt? What the fuck is that?
That better come with a Kyber crystal, nigga. I swear to God,
Oh my God.
$600.
That's an impressive lightsaber hilt.
The nigga from 50 Shades wouldn't even have purchased
Can we just bookmark Lavajoy, please? Thank you. Independent research only. Yeah, we're going to... Oh, now you're deleting all the recent searches. Okay.
It's a company computer.
It's work.
Write it off. It's a
write it
podcast
off.
expense.
It's work. So under the Danish rule, any crime worse than theft, you could have your nose sliced off, ears, upper lip, gouging out of the eyes, scalping, good old skin flaying, not flogging, flaying.
Playing.
Yeah, do not look up skin flog. That is spooky. That's reserved for the Halloween months. So you're allowed to hunt everything but them good old royal deer.
India, I mean, those royal deer cause a fucking problem, but they're just got juicy asses.
Yeah. In the 12th century, during Henry I's reign, coin forgery would be punished by cutting off your right hand. So basically, it was coin forgery. People would be coin clippers. They would go and make their own like fake money, and then if you got caught, they would cut off your hands or your penis or both your hands and your penis.
Your penis.
Yeah,
What, a guy trying to make a little extra scratch?
yeah. They don't like it.
Honestly, how easy do you think it was to fake money back then? Pretty easy.
Pretty.
I'd be so fucking counterfeit rich back
Dude.
in the day.
Your hands and cock would be gone in a second.
Sometimes I forget I'm black and this is all null and void anyway.
I mean, that's a good aspiration for you to have. Unfortunately, they would have different plans for you.
I mean, it would go like, dude. Yeah, no.
That's why I can't answer time travel questions fun. It's like, when do you want to go back to? It's like fucking 97, nigga. I don't know.
2016? I don't know, dude.
All right, keep going.
Okay, I was just trying to think, well, like, what if teleporter back in time also makes...
That is the only way I'd literally be able to, like, if we ever do get to that point in history, they better come with that too. It's like, I better be getting a cool, like, white person time suit.
You'd have,
I mean-
honestly, a better time being blue.
Yeah. That would
Yeah.
cause less uproar because at least they'd be like, well, we haven't seen one, so I don't know if I hate them yet.
Fried chicken too, huh?
Hmm. All right.
I'm starting to connect some dots. So one thing that was invented in Germany to help, like curb people's interest in theft was the tell of the instep borer, which basically was a metal shoe you put on, which had a circular serrated blade in the top of it, and then they would put it down on your foot and go crank, 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 and it'll bore a hole in through your foot, and then you die
from
yeah,
dysentery.
you'd probably die.
Everything, I like how all these punishments, they're all like this big elaborate thing, and the end is just death by dysentery. Dirt
Yeah.
got in, it's over.
And also another,
They didn't eat the good dirt.
gotta find that good dirt.
Gotta find that good
And
dirt.
this episode's good dirt.
Gotta eat that good dirt. So another favored method of torture getting out of people was denailing, which isn't the courtesy of taking someone off of a cross who's been nailed there. It is removing the nails from the fingy. So hands would be held down and nails would be gripped with pliers or forceps, sometimes red hot.
Would you guys rather have the denailing or the what they did in Vietnam where like they would put the bamboo shoots under
Just
your
kill
nails?
me, nigga. I'd be so mad if they're like, we're about to torture you. They're like, just kill me. I'm so sick of it.
Well, that didn't start in Vietnam. It actually started in Spain, where they elected to use wood wedges, and also in Germany, where this was crazy to hear, witch hunters, which is not just, a profession left to one Henry Cavill in a certain Witcher fucking franchise. No, it's real witch hunters dipped wooden skewers in boiling sulfur or oil, and before slowly forcing them under the prisoner's toenails, often using several of the skewers at a time.
Do you think witch hunters back then were seen the same way ghost hunters are seen now?
No, because you could kill someone for a witch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, you literally haven't seen a ghost. These niggas saw so many witches. They saw so many witches daily, just cleaning up witches left and right.
There's like they thought confirmed witchcraft.
Yeah. It was the same thing as like a person who picks up like stray dogs in the city. Same exact job title.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these were just some of the punishments for the low-level crimes. More harsher crimes were reserved, like high treason, which also I found this. Women weren't allowed to receive the harsher deaths, as it was considered indecent to expose a woman like that.
What's the difference between treason and high treason?
Well, one is up here.
Yeah, wait, what the fuck does high
one is up here.
Yeah, what?
Well, treason's here.
Maybe low-level treason, like, yeah, you just
Yeah.
talked some shit, but high treason's like you stole
You've
from like, the Federal
actively-
Reserve.
You killed a royal deer.
Yeah, you killed a royal. You've actively conspired to kill a royal deer.
Did you take a royal salmon out of my fucking stream, you jackass? High treason.
High treason. So many bears were killed taking royal salmon out of trees. So basically, what I thought was funny, it's like women weren't allowed to receive the harsher deaths because often their like clothes would be ripped off, like the men who received them. So they're like, we want to. That's indecent. What we will do is we'll burn you at the stake, or behead you. Save your dignity. You know?
Just watch you scream. Bro.
Of the two ways, or like of the deaths you could have, those are by far better than any other of the bullshit.
Yeah, the dudes were like getting flayed and their fingers taken off.
Well, because at least if you die by fire, which is like a horrible way to
That's
go.
the worst. That's one of the worst.
That takes 2 minutes. All this other shit is fucking like
3
long.
months. Yeah, it's like
long.
3 months.
So this is the quote of the standard procedure for execution for people by treason when they suffered what was called the 3 deaths. So first, this was the quote. So this was read directly. So the prisoner is to be taken from the prison and dragged along the ground, tied to the tail of the horse. I assume the horse doesn't love that.
From the tail?
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
tied
hair.
to the tail of the horse, and then there's actually meat in the tail of the horse.
Well, no, it's a little nubbins, but then you have all the hair. It'd still be like pulling your hair.
Yeah, so they're
Doesn't feel
not
great.
pumped.
Yeah, they're not excited.
Yeah, so they're dragged along the ground, tied to the tail of a horse, and drawn to the gallows or place of execution. And then he be dragged by the neck until he be half dead. Then you cut that boy down. He didn't say that part.
Did you copy this in Old English, or are you translating in Old English?
No, it's copied in Old English. And then cut down, and his entrails to be cut out of his body and burnt by the executioner. Then his head is to be cut off, and the body to be divided into quarters, and afterwards his head and quarters to be set up in some open place.
I've never been more sure this is the correct way to use this word. That's so gay. Just kill this man. Why are we stringing him up behind a horse?
So the reason why they call it the 3 deaths is because the first death is they hang you half to death. That's like the first of your deaths. The second death is they go and they put you in front of like a fire, and then they cut you from fucking tip to dick, and they just let your organs fall out into the fire so you can smell your own organs burning. That's the second one. And then
First
the third death, they just cut you up. They cut you up real good. And then they bring you around. They like put you to just be like, this is John, he was a dickhead here.
Wait, why is public humiliation always like the worst punishment, no matter what society you're in? It's like you can cut my balls off and do whatever, but like just don't drag me around the town square, nigga. Like, come on.
Also, this is what I would prefer. Some people just get killed being brought to the gallows because people would just not be like, "Oh, make way! Here comes the guy."
Yeah.
Be like, fucking get it! And then they'd just be like throwing shit, like just
Little
be
girls curb stomping you
yeah,
as you
it's
go
like,
by.
they brought me my mom's chamber pot. Put it on his head.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
They're throwing like the one piece of bread at him that they had for the week.
It's a scene from the original Planet
Yeah.
of the Apes where you're getting like drugged through the town center in like a cage and everyone's throwing shit at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, often the executioners would cut out the heart of the fresh corpse and hold it to the audience of people watching and say, "Behold the heart of a traitor."
That's pretty cool.
That's hard. That goes hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's an album cover for sure.
Especially it's like the big like executioner guy from Shrek and like the cloak and everything, and he's like,
do you know that's actually a stereotype? They didn't wear those. Dude, they were dickheads to executioners. They basically subjugated them to live outside the city because they were always working with death, and with death came so many diseases. They wouldn't even hand their paychecks to them. Like, the fucking serf would throw it at them. That's true, dude. They would treat him like absolute.
They had to bring their own axe. There wasn't like a company axe they could use.
Whoa,
They had to bring their own axe.
They have elementary school teacher complaints. You're like, I have to pay for everything in this torture
And often,
dungeon.
if your dad was an executioner, you would be an executioner because there's no one who's gonna hire like, oh, I'm a trolley man. It's like, what's your last name? It's like, oh, I'm Mr. Kill-em-all. And just being like, oh, you're the son of Bryce Kill-em-all. Who's the executioner? Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought for some reason executioner would have been like a high level, like the Secretary of Defense.
No.
Almost.
No.
Yeah, I guess not.
It's like a mall cop.
Yeah, you're a big oafy nigga with a hack.
There is a story about how an executioner was out of town and they had to hire like a younger apprentice executioner.
They just fucked it up.
Dude, 11 strikes before this bitch's head was off, dude. And it was like a dignitary. It was like a rival noblewoman.
Yeah. Just take her nails, bro. There's nothing dignified about
chop, chop, chop. And I just imagine him and like, even though it's a stereotype, this oversized, like fuck, I think he was like 11. Yeah. And just wearing oversized executioner robes and like the hat's on sideways. And he's just like, 1, 2, thunk. Just messes it up.
Looks like he's ready to do the 03 draft. His shit's so big. Fucking chop it, dude.
Yeah, so they would chop them up and put their body parts at the front gates to make everyone know we don't play that shit.
Okay.
And so they also rubbed their heads with mystery spices to preserve the flesh. There's 11 herbs and spices. I think it's Lowry's.
I've never actually checked the bottle, but it says been around since like ye old 1136 or whatever.
Yeah, rub it on your head if your head feeling sick, baby girl.
Put that shit on everything.
Put that shit on everything.
All right.
I put Lowry's on everything. So basically they would rub heads and spices and put them on stakes in front of like the Tower of London, Westminster Hall, and the London Bridge. Just being like, hey, when you're coming in here, just realize we don't fuck about. Like, you want to be a head on a stake? Like, come here, take a load off.
It is pretty chill. I've always been pro head on stake.
So this brings in another man. I'm going to wrap this up very quickly. But William de Morisco.
Willie D.
Willie D.
All right.
So Willie D had an island in the English Channel gifted to him. But when King Harry came into power, he said, I want it. And give me.
That was probably how he said it too.
King Henry said, I want it.
I want it.
And then so William Willie D said, fuck off. And basically it was like, do you know what? Fuck the king. I'm going to side with the Scottish. I love the Scots, everything that is in the key. And he actually became like a local pirate port, go and rob naval ships. And he's like, the king sees that and he's like, all right, being a dickhead, but I'll let you go. But then an assassination attempt happens on the king. Word comes down the line that the guy that they sent to assassinate him came from big old Willie D. So they're like, all right, you're done. And he was like, I'm going to come get you boys. And come get us. So we got him. And they bring all of his 16.
They SEAL Team 6'd him?
SEAL Team 6 him. Yeah.
Oh, that'd have to be scary. Could you imagine Willie's down by the port doing his illegal nonsense, and then you just see, I mean, probably 38 bros on horses.
But that's
No,
another.
they're on an
That's
island. They're coming by ship.
That's what I was about to say. Another thing. Like, you see that ship maybe 3 hours ahead.
That's
You just see them coming in and you're like, fuck.
Either that or you're like on a trade route down the English Channel where like everyone is getting shit by ship. So this ship going by, and then all of a sudden there's like 2, then 3, then 5 that just point towards your island. You're like, ooh, start digging.
Yeah. Start digging. Yeah.
So King Henry said, get that boy. And the boy was got, along with 16 of his fellow boys. And
Damn.
so when he was convicted of high treason, he was beheaded, cut into 3 different sections. And let me tell you, those sections went on tour.
Dude, King Harry turned to King Vaughn real fucking quick.
Yeah.
They Stanley Cupped the sections?
They Stanley Cup the sections.
They just went around different places.
He went on tour to each of the principal cities of England and was displayed later proudly in London.
Can you imagine how bad that has to smell? You're the guy carrying around this nigga's thigh and just being like, I present to you the traitor.
Yeah, so the castle is like the castle in London that has like its own like prison and stuff like that. The
of course,
dungeons.
privately owned.
Yeah, privately owned. So that's where they would keep the high level people and shit. So they had little torture rooms, not torture rooms, but some of the crazy ones that I read about was the bottle, which is basically a bottle shaped room where you sat at the bottom of, and it just had a gate with like a light coming in from it, and they would just toss food every once in a while down there. And also the oubliette, which I think in French means to forget. And basically, it's a stone cylindrical hole. It's a vertical shaft that you like get in there, and you can't sit down. It's like you're just standing all the time. And
Eventually, something bad happens if you stand constantly.
yeah, you live in there. And also, let me tell you, they don't clean the hole. So you're pretty much a roommate with everyone else, both dead or both really dead in bones or like squishy and still like rotting. You're down in there. And plus, you're at the bottom of the dungeon. You're in a hole in the floor of the dungeon. So all that good dungeon water is on runoff is coming down in there saying hi to you. So it was not a cool way to go out.
That's no good.
But also not another cool way was the dungeon among the rats that was in the Tower of London.
That's just, I ride the A train every day, Pip. I see the fucking Tower of Rats or whatnot.
Yeah, they would just tie someone to like basically a cave underneath the Tower of London where the shoreline would come. And they would just be in complete darkness, and the shore would bring in like poop, rats that are covered in poop. And then those rats, once the tide went down, would just be chilling on that shore, toweling off, just be like, that was some good poop, wasn't it? I wish we had some food. What was that? And then they would start like, and like taking little bites out of you, and then you got like 35 on you ripping you rats. It's crazy. Rats were fucked up.
They were
used
like
to-
aggressive?
Yeah, but and they used to also have like a lot of, they used to do this with like a lot of Scottish prisoners too, where they would have them on like the castles would have like kind of, they'd have like a prison tower where like the outside of the, there was like basically just like a sky view. Like, you know how like you go into like skyscrapers, they have a sky view?
Yeah.
Where you're basically outside the wall of the building.
Yeah.
So they would have that as like they would have put prisoners there, and they would just have like crows and shit. Like big, like holes in the bars big enough to where you can't get out, but crows can get
in and start picking
They
at
just
you.
start picking at you, fucking you up, coming under beneath you.
Well, I get one. That's a meal for 4 days. Fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
I would
Dude. Oh, dude.
fuck around and find out. You want to be a Raven today, nigga? You want to do Raven shit? Get Raven activities done to you.
Yeah, so this is, I got 2 more that I'll do. Because how much time do we got, Patty? 5 minutes? All right.
All right, can we go to my stuff real quick then?
Yeah, let me just finish. Let me wrap these 2 up. The Spanish horse, a French wooden donkey, 6 foot high, 7. It's like basically a giant A-frame with a hard one spot and stakes around it. They sit you down, they tie weights to you, tickle your feet a little bit, which I thought was silly.
Eco leaks.
Yeah, and then timer for 15. All right, and then the last one I'll talk about was the saw. The saw. So what it was sometimes it was used for killing people convicted of blasphemy, thievery, murder, adultery, or witchcraft. Got to throw in them.
I saw a display of this at the Ren Fair.
Yeah, it was often used during the Ottoman Empire during time of war. What they did was they took prisoners, they put them upside down, and they would get their feet and tie them up so all the blood would kind of rush down and stuff, and they'd stay awake because it's hard to fall asleep when you're up. And then,
Is it?
Yeah, because all the blood will rush to your head to keep you awake.
yeah, it would keep you awake and conscious.
I thought that's what puts you out. Like how when they take chickens down. You know, when you like slaughter a chicken, you hold it upside down real quick and then it goes to sleep. Hey, keep going.
Humans aren't chickens, Daniel. So basically, they would saw through you, sometimes stopping in the middle just to let you die slower. And this was used one time, and I'll end on this, during the Ottoman conquest in 1463. They conquered a village, and they promised to spare the heads of all the captured soldiers. And then he sawed like 400 of them. And then when they came in, they're like, dude, what the fuck? You said they were spared. He's like, I said I would save their heads.
Yeah,
I did save their heads.
I said nothing about their assholes, nigga. Their
Yeah.
assholes are done.
I sawed you from nuts to butts.
Actually, not that far.
I know, but then you keep going.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
the
you
problem.
turned into like a human wishbone.
That is the
Yeah.
problem. All right, here we go, Andrew. Let's see yours.
All right, so mine was more combat driven. I thought that's what we were gonna. I didn't know we were gonna encompass the
No, it's literally whatever you
medieval
want.
times. I did only combat. So like I would
My
find
favorite website for Instagram influencers.
No, dude. So like I found out too is like what I found out is like a lot of dudes were like it was I found out that medieval battles was a real pay to play kind of situation
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
where like whatever you owned, that's what you got. So it was like you know how in Fortnite you just see a dude running around in like a Santa Claus Peter Griffin skin, and you're like, I'm on the default skin.
Oh, you're saying like they didn't have like a standardized uniform?
They didn't have no. It was like, yo, you got a sweater.
How did you know who was who then? When you went to war, like when you started fighting?
That's the thing. A lot of people did get friendly fired. A lot of people get friendly fired, especially when you're the thick of it, bro.
Imagine just two people yelling for the king and be like, "Which king? Which king, though? This is very important." Which
yeah,
king?
just like holding their sword like this. Like, hold on, like before I pop my shit off, which king are you talking about? Because I need to know.
Yeah, as is formal for every army, I say everyone go around, say one thing that they have about each other.
An icebreaker.
Say your name and also your favorite part of England.
And then another thing I found out too is that like knight's armor was pretty impenetrable to arrows and would deflect swords because the swords weren't sharp enough to like pierce at the angles that you're swinging at with the mobility you had. There was a lot of dudes just fucking running at each other. So it looked like, you know, like those like hit stick highlights from the NFL where it's like, here comes the boom. That's all medieval fighting was, bro. It's just, here comes the boom. It's just like knights flying at each other, just spearing each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen, they do like, I wish I could be walking through the days that they do it, but there's like a fucking
there's
medieval,
LARPing?
Yeah, there's LARPing with like real swords and stuff like that, and it's funny just to watch. I'm like, oh, so like it's really heavy and hard to swing hard.
Yeah, so like that's why like, you just had to tackle each other to the ground. That's why like a lot of deaths in medieval battles were like due to like being trampled and like eating dirt.
Yeah, pretty much. You get stomped on by the dude whose horse behind you.
Yeah, but also talking about horses, I found out that they weren't back then. They would like have specific war horses, so they would breed war horses that weren't full. They were like big ponies, bro.
Like intentionally, like
like
type stuff.
Yeah, like
it's
like,
not. It's
like
conscientious observers. I've seen the Andrew Garfield movie.
What?
Warhorse?
What?
Nobody? No one saw Warhorse?
Stop being artsy for 3 seconds.
So like imagine if you're like a normal sized horse, you're fighting on a little Pete horse, dude. Like they're not like little, they're not ponies yet, but they're like little war horses.
Little stocky motherfuckers.
Little stocky boys.
All right, you're riding on a pit bull to war for honor.
Yeah.
So dude, just getting hit by like a fucking meat train, dude. And that so like dudes would get like fucked. Like a lot of it was like either drowning or like a small, like that's why knights always had like small daggers too, because you got to get in between the armor.
So your sword was just a fucking...
It was just to like knock them so you could get in close and get
So
him.
you're peacocking so you can kill him with your Peter Pan shiv?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, because there's like... It's like that's a final boss thing. Like you got to save your energy for the night because the amount of just like dudes who are running at you who you're just like, no problem. Just chopping them up. And then you just see the one guy in a shiny shoot in the bag. You're like, got to save some energy for you. You're going to be a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
You probably just knew you were going to die. If you were going into battle and you're like, yeah, we're fighting another army of 300. What are the odds that I fucking make it out of here?
Yeah, like another, like, yeah, dude, like that's the thing. There's like, people would be like, that's why like everyone's like, you're for the king? Treason. If not, like, you're for the king, right? Either way, like, you're gonna die.
That's why I wouldn't trust a warrior. Someone's like, oh yeah, this guy's been an honorable fucking warrior in the king's army for whatever. I'm like, how? I don't
trust that. He hasn't fought.
I don't trust that
Guy's
guy
pussy.
at all. Yeah, fucking philanthropist.
Dude, just on the battlefield, be like, they're pushing. Guys knocked.
Yeah.
All right.
Squad wipe.
So did you do a specific battle?
Yeah, I did. So they made the movie The King about it with the goat, ball, dude knows ball, Tim Chalamet.
I was saying ball. I was like, he was in a movie?
I was about to say ball cubed?
Yeah, ball cubed.
Ball the cube?
Yeah,
right.
the Ball brothers, yeah.
Damn. Hey, they used to swerve bend them corners back in the olden days.
Woo.
No, yeah. So I did the battle that that movie's based off of, which is King Henry V battle, his battle of Agincourt in France. So like he was getting like, so first him and his dad like kind of usurped the crown, took over England, power grab, and then they had a bunch of rebellions that had to fight in England. They got those done, and then they started talking mad shit to France, being like, "Yo, give us France," and France was like, fuck off. No, like, we're not giving you France. And he's like, well, fuck it. France is ours. So we're going to come in, ball out on your court.
I like
we're going to take France.
It's because it's basically the two, like just being like, I want France. And then be like, you can't have it. It's like, It's already mine, bro.
But just the Andrewisms in the explanation. Like, we're over here like in 1830. Andrew's like, yeah, basically they said ball up, nigga. And they were like, nah.
Ball up top, bro. Ball up top. They told France ball up top.
Ball up top.
France said cap.
Yeah. Nah, niggas, makers, King's Court. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
they were like, ISO right now, France. ISO right now.
That's
Clear
not
the court.
bad. All right.
And so he landed in the
Wyand's wilding out here, bro. Wyan Henry, bro, running around.
Wyan Henry III was a fucking demon, dude.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Yeah, so they came into the northwest tip of France through the English Channel. They took over that first settlement, and they were trying to move into Paris and take like the coast first. So they had like a settlement because they used to only fight in like seasons.
Yeah.
They had like NFL seasons for fighting.
Mm-hmm, but then they were trying to be YNs in Paris. It changed the whole thing.
Yeah, because they had to like between crop sessions, they had to like that's when they were allowed to fight. So like they would plant the crops, go out, come back to harvest the crops, and so they would go out.
Damn!
In between
Imagine
that
going to war, realizing you got shit to do.
Yeah, you got
That fucking sucks.
Yeah, bro. Like the fighting season was like a Friday after work, and then you go in on Sunday being like, "Fuck, I got work on
dude,
Monday."
If I survive this insurrection, I still got to plow my fields.
Yeah.
My bitch wife said so. Fuck.
So many fields. Why don't I have sons?
Yeah, I gotta plow my fields. My wife's getting her fields plowed. It's fucked over here on my court, dude.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you were gone at war, there was another lord that was coming in. Just
A bard, just
cleaning your wife
cleaning
out.
tonsils, bro.
Ugh.
Yeah, so they started off, and then France kind of diverted them from getting more inland. So instead of going across the river, which would have like taken them days and weeks to get across, and would have like ruined their whole timeline for the campaign.
Okay.
They went into like they found this like one small part of the river that was like walkable through, and so they met France and kind of cornered France into like where they wanted them to be in the corner, like the northeast corner of France.
Yeah.
And then they moved in, and they had like their big battle and like stronghold fight at Agincourt, which was like a town or house. And so then, but by that time, Henry's army was like down to like I think they said like between 5,000 to 7,000 people.
Okay.
And like most of them were like peasant archers.
Yeah, just a bunch of bros. They were like, "Hey, we're fighting. Bring your shit."
Yeah, and I think it was like 80% of the army left was just archers, and like the rest of it was like the last 20% was like armored guys.
You need front end, bros.
Yeah, and then but France mobilized an army to like hold off from them completing the coast, and they had like 18,000 people like fighting for France, and so it's like one of like the biggest upsets in like that
time period.
That time period
Yeah.
of like warfare. Because what happened was that the movie explains it well too, but it's like the night before, so they moved in, they entrenched themselves, France entrenched themselves in the battlefield, and they thought they got the upper hand on England, but England had already set up their defensive positioning.
Yeah.
And so when France came into the battlefield, they were like, "Oh shit, boys are already here."
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay. And so the night before they started fighting, it had really like rained, downpoured. And so like the whole field that they were supposed to fight on muddy as shit. It's all like swampy. And so
That's football weather, son.
Yeah.
That's football weather.
They played it on a rainy night in Stoke, bro.
All right.
And so what happened is that the way England had set up was that they set all their armored guys in the middle, which is like 1,000 dudes maybe.
Yeah.
And then they had the rest of the archers basically like in a V shape behind like spiked barriers so like the cavalry for France couldn't get in.
Couldn't just rush in. Yeah.
Yeah. And France was like, all we have to do is just wait for them. They're not going to attack us.
Yeah.
It was a real like George Washington versus the British. It's
Starve
like,
them out.
they're not going to fucking come for us.
Turns out,
Boys had different ideas.
got a bunch of French idiots on a horse.
Yeah. So King Henry's like, if we don't go now, they will fuck us up.
Right.
And so he was like, fuck it, charge them. Oh, I was like, fuck it. They were like, fuck it, charge them. So they start moving in their mobile guys. Like half of them are like armored, like full knights. The other half is like kind of like just chainmail shit.
Yeah.
They start moving forward. France is like, oh, fuck, they're moving in?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, send the boys.
Yeah.
So they send their first two lines of like 10,000 dudes.
Yeah.
And then they send the cavalry on the wings to like try to take out the archers. But since it's so muddy, the horses can't get through the bog. and like the heavy armor is getting fucked and slowed down in the bog. So archers are just like bop, 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 bop,
Picking these fools off.
picking them off. The cavalry retreats. And so the two lines are still moving in.
Yeah.
So they're getting meat in the battlefield, but since they can't move and the English forces are so much lighter than them, they're fucking them up.
Yeah, can't do nothing. Muddy as hell.
Muddy as hell. You can't move. You're in knight's armor. You can't fucking move around in that shit. People are like the French troops are drowning in the mud and getting trampled on by their own troops. And because what happened was like the first line goes in and meets them in combat.
Yeah.
The second line is immediately pushing into them. So they're like pushing them into a force that they can't move. So people like getting like
stomped on, trampled, suffocated.
Yeah,
by
they're
mud.
killing their own dudes. And then the archers push the cavalry back. So then at that point, the archers then encircle the backside of them and just start fucking picking them off. Dudes are putting down their like bow and arrows and like just getting them from behind since they're also like in archers uniform. So like they're not armored up. So they're just fucking moving around. And yeah, they ended up like the end of the battle. English forced them to surrender and retreat. The French out of their 16,000 lost like 10 or 12,000. English lost 600 people.
And then what happens to those the remaining French? You just get picked up by the army over there, and you get
Henry's thing was that he had they got like I think like 1,000 prisoners or so.
Okay.
And he's like, we don't want the French thinking they could come back from this, and he just executed all of them.
I was about to say I'd do the same thing.
Yeah,
right? We can't have that many survivors.
And this also goes back to the pay to play thing. So the reason that if you survive the battle, you're just taking knights' armors off dudes that you got.
Oh, you're literally like Skyrim. You're just walking through.
Yeah, you got Scavenger Pro.
You're looting.
Yeah, you got Scavenger Pro.
This is higher armor than I had by 3 defense points.
Yeah. And then after that, they took the coast, like that northern coast of France, and then they were able to bargain and leverage with the King of France, being like, hey, either we come in and take Paris, or you let me marry your daughter and I'm the future King of France.
And what'd he pick?
Future King of France.
Yeah, you can fuck my daughter, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, you can bust her cheeks, dog. I don't care. That's not mine.
Well, it's either that or fucking everyone dies. That's about all the time we got. I'd like to thank Andrews for coming on. If you don't already know, we do a Patreon episode as well about the same topic recorded from the house. It's www.patreon.com/modernapes-podcast.
It's good.
We got a $1 level if you want a bonus one, and then we also do a nice higher level tier called the Internal Affairs, where it's an onion peeled back layer of the podcast. I've cried. Andrew said craziness. It's a good time on there. Tell a friend about the cast. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.
That was good.